Yeah, it does. Morning. Happy last day of April.
I can't believe it's the last day of April.
Okay, click over to the first slide.
There's Sarah.
There it is. Okay, so the Y4C2Ts is how we always start. And I just like to mastermind around this slide because this is the belief system of Keller Williams, right? Win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing. Our customers always come first. There's commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. So I know we're a little group today in here, but out of all of these things, has anybody had any of these come up in their last week of business, life? If you're all on my page with me, you should all know that Alan moved to Maui on Sunday, and that was a weird thing for me to have him commit to a job so far away from home. In a little speck in the middle of the ocean, far
Who's
away.
Alan?
My husband.
Your husband moved to Maui?
Yeah, huh?
What's he do?
He's an electrician and he took a job there, right? He had to take a job, coming back into the workforce from his pre-retirement, we call it. And so, you know, it's commitment in all things, and it's understanding what someone else needs to achieve their highest metric for themselves, right? And understanding there's small sacrifice, but he'll be home 1 week every month. So it'll be 1 month on, 1 week home, 1 month back, 1 week home.
So he'll be helping with the restructuring of the island?
They're doing a bunch of stuff, yeah.
Wow.
They're doing a bunch of stuff, solar and commercial and there's a lot of work over there right now. But it was just this opportunity that came up for him, and he's an adventurous spirit, so it works, right?
So do you get to go to Maui like often?
No, because I have to work.
Oh.
I work here, he works
My
there.
husband moved to Maui, I'll be like, I'm coming monthly.
Well, different job.
Especially during the winter.
I mean,
Right.
true.
But anyway, so yeah, so how about anybody else with your business?
I can share, I like integrity, obviously, it's one of my core values, I love integrity, and it's one thing I form my business off of. And one of the things that came up this week is we had all these listings and it was crazy, and my friend calls me out of nowhere and they have a manufactured home in Bremerton that needs to sell. It's like $85,000, you know, so not any big thing. And I went and I spruced it up. I did all the things I normally do for 5-star service, which is, you know, hire a photographer and do all the things. And they kept saying, don't worry about it. It's not that. It's not worth the commission and stuff. And I just, you know, I think that it's important to do the right thing for all the way across the board for a 1.2, just like at 85,000.
Yeah.
And he ended up calling me back and he's like, we all talked and we want to pay you like 6% commission instead of your normal 3, just because you've got above and beyond. And we already got above list offers on it, and it's one of those things. It's like if you do the right thing, you know, you just do what's needed for people and treat people fairly, that they treat them fairly.
I think so. Yeah.
And they've already referred like 3 people to me just based on that too. So it's doing the right thing, you know, it's coming from the heart, sharing with people.
I think the beginning of that whole thing was that you said that integrity was one of your core values. So it's different. You have to set it in your core value, and coming from your core value makes you show up as with integrity, right?
Yeah.
With integrity and authenticity through that, right?
Well, yeah, and they were even telling me that, no, don't hire a photographer, and I was gonna get the carpet cleaned because her little dog peed everywhere, and they're like, don't do that, you're just, you know, it's not worth it. And I'm like, no, you don't understand, like, this is what sells it.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's doing the right thing and coming from
Yeah, from
that
a $3 million listing
yeah, I was like, I
to
can't
a
do
$30,000
it
listing, it's the same,
Yeah.
it's the exact same thing to get it on the market.
And sometimes you have to fight him because he was taking pictures from his cell phone. He's like, don't even worry about the ferry ride. I'll just send it. I was like, no, that's not 5-star service. So I love when those things come together. And now the mom is super grateful because we got, like I said, we already got her offer and that's her retirement. So it's awesome.
Great, I love that. I love that. Did you have something, Ken?
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, you know, one of the things that we used to teach about integrity is, you know, I used to do mentoring in high schools, and it was always do the right things, but even when nobody's watching.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where we try to create it as a core value.
Right.
But I think that's the same thing, it's like when we're talking with, I had a similar conversation, I have somebody who can be pre-approved for $50,000.
Right.
Right? And it's not leading them on, but it's being very clear in the communication about what they can do and what their possibilities are, and what the path would be, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's not, oh my gosh, she's not worth my time, I'm not even gonna bother calling her back.
Right.
It's that, you know, everybody deserves an opportunity.
Yeah.
People are people.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Y4C2Ts?
Then just walk there.
We'll just move on.
Just be-
Okay.
Why are you
And
so
what do you
pale?
got?
Where did you go?
So
Wow.
we have some big rock events coming up, and I just wanna focus on this one is Value Squared. No, not Value Squared, I'm sorry, Value Squared's over. But I wanna tell you about Value Squared. If you go on KW Command, your KW Connect, and go on there, they took all 3 of the Value Squareds, and got the best clips out of all of them, merged them together and created a recording, which is awesome. And then they have some things coming up, and they are also creating a KWU class so that we can learn that and teach it. So if anybody wants to study the Value Squared, it was such a great class. But Go Fund Yourself is gonna be in June, so it's June, I think 4th and 5th.
Yep.
And it's down in downtown Seattle at the Westin. The lineup is incredible, you guys. It's 2 days of really powerful speakers, panels, and motivation for your business. And I think there's gonna be an appearance by Ben. Todd is doing an inspirational piece.
Thea's brother is gonna be there too.
Okay, yeah,
For me.
yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
Hermes is gonna be there. There's just, the lineup's huge. There's like, people are flying in from like California to talk about business and creating the perfect, like, how to fund yourself in this market, how to stomp and move forward. So if you don't have your ticket for Go Fund Yourself, RSVP, ASAP, they're trying to get good lineups for that. So, and I know we did give away a Go Fund Yourself ticket, and I'll look and see if there's any discount codes or anything like that that are gonna come up for it, because early bird tickets are over. Okay, Kim, can you
Yes,
tell us about KW Cares
yes, I have a
and
couple
Red Day?
things. Yeah, so, you guys, most of you in the room know what Red Day is, but since May of 2009, KW from US to Canada and everywhere else sets aside the second Thursday of every May to renew, energize, and donate, red, within the community. Our KW family comes together to build new homes from the ground up, gather and distribute food to those in need, organize relief efforts after natural disasters, and spread joy and raise funds for those facing unexpected life events. So giving back and paying it forward, giving back to our communities, not just on Red Day, but all year long, gives credence to our company mission to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experience worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Woo!
Our efforts strengthen our sense of purpose and help remind every member of our team why we do what we do. So our Red Day, if you guys don't know, is at the Marysville Food Bank. And we're stuffing 600 lunches and then also doing the cleanup and organizing the same way we did last year. There's gonna be breakfast and lunch provided, and it's gonna be really great. We have a handful of people signed up, so if you're planning on going and you haven't signed up, make sure you do at the front desk so we can have a head count for lunch, so we can get everybody fed. And then the other thing is the BKCOs are participating in a challenge for March, April, May, for May.
The
Okay,
end
it says March, it says March.
Oh.
I think we missed it.
Well, they just sent this out to me today, so maybe it's for me. But they're doing a challenge for the biggest supporters of KW Cares. And so the goal for each market center is $870. And right now we are right about in the middle. So we need to have KW Cares donations. If you guys don't know how to do that, you can do it really easily on all of your transactions. You can choose an amount. So like Janet was our top contributor last year and she has $20 off of every transaction. It's automatic, so she doesn't even have to think about it. So if you wanna set that up, just let me know and we can set that up. It's the KW Cares is a really good cause.
So this one is, this slide talks about the KW Cares monthly, May 1st to the 31st. So this is what Kim was talking about. And so you might have a team. So if you hit this QR code, it brings you to this page about donating, but you might be able to join a team. So we'll figure out that piece too. I just wanted to put it on here. If you hit the $870 goal on your fundraising page, your team can win access to a call with Mo Anderson, which I think is really awesome.
Kim, you have somebody leaving the video?
We'll do more about this and I'll post it on the Facebook page because this just came up in our leadership call, so I grabbed this slide. I wanted everybody to know that if we all get together as an office, we could have Mo come teach us, which I think is really, really cool. Because I happen to love Mo.
I was gonna say, if you're
I don't know.
anything for Molly, do this because Molly
This
loves
is a
Mo.
give back for me. I love Mo so much. I want
When
to.
was it May 9th you said was Red Day?
May 9th is Red Day, that's the second Thursday of the month.
Okay.
And the reason, like we said, Red Day is in symbolic, it started in 2009, and it was a thing for Mo, they wanted to create a day to give back, renew, and energize, and it was a part of KW culture to give, right? That's part of our values and our legacy and what we want to do, right? Our mission, vision, and values. So Mo is so symbolic on it, they posted Red Day on her birthday in 2009, which was May 12th, I think. That her birthday is May 12th. So every year, second Thursday, we call it Mo Anderson's birthday. Come on, let's go. Like how many people are signed up for Red Day right now on that tape, on the thing? I forgot to bring the clipboard up.
I'll sign up.
I signed up.
Corey
I'll
signed
be
up?
there, I just haven't.
Okay, well, if you're not, get your phones out, get your calendar, set Red Day aside, right? It's gonna be early in the morning, but even if you can't make it early when we're packing lunches, come a couple hours later, mow the lawn, do some weeding.
What time are you gonna start?
7:30
7:30.
at the food bank.
Here, where's the food bank?
It's right off of 88th, right behind the big church there.
What is the date again?
Maybe
May
not.
In the morning.
Yeah, it's an early morning, but it's gonna be really fun. We will have breakfast.
There will be coffee
There
and
was talk
donuts.
about these giant donuts.
They're gonna be there.
They're
Don't
gonna,
forget the pressure washer.
How big is Giant?
there's some special donuts from
Oh,
some
yeah.
bakery in Everett.
They're so
wow.
big that he said he has to cut them in half because that's how big they are.
Wow.
Anyway.
So we're saying like hit the gym first.
Yeah. Or come late so all the donuts are gone.
Cheers never.
Yeah.
And you doing pressure washing last time?
I pressure wash last night. Time before I
Yeah.
got the curtains. It was really fun.
Okay, this is our huge event coming up. I'm winning series, you guys. May 29th, Marysville Opera House again, 10 to 2. Grab your tickets. I have our promo code for the office, or if you went to winning series last time, is INVEST in all caps. INVEST, that's the promo code. It's a BOGO promo code. Tickets are $25 and you buy one ticket, get one free with the word INVEST. Got it? So May 29th, the theme is investing. How many people in here want to invest? Right? Let's do it. It's gonna be really great. The panel lineups are awesome. There's gonna be Dadu talk and Adu talk and everything about investing. Glenn, do you have any speakers that you could drop or?
We have Jesus, Dave
Jesus
Gardner.
is gonna be there.
Wow. Dave Gardner is gonna speak.
Everybody bring water.
Scott Estes is speaking. Randy, Ricky, what the hell is that guy's name? It starts with an R.
I don't know, but we got.
He was your guy.
So, I
I've reached out to Thatch. I don't know if that's gonna turn into anything. We have investors, we have hard money lenders, we have people talking about ADUs and DADUs and the new laws.
Yeah.
There's a lot of out-of-box thinkers that are, and Courtney's gonna talk about short-term rentals. There you go.
Money Funding Opportunities Panel, Agent Investor Relationships Panel, ADU Laws and Zoning Changes, Richard Hager,
David Gardner.
Courtney McClaskey, David Gardner, is that what you said? Don't have him on here. Okay,
He's
It's gonna
actually
be-
teaching a class in here too on the 15th.
Wasn't he a lender?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he taught that, he teaches ADU segregation class. So it'll be good.
Yeah.
Accredited class.
remember when we went on the tiny house tour down at
Oh yeah, them.
They're gonna be there too.
They're gonna be there too.
Vince is gonna be on there.
Carriage House.
Commercial for Vince.
It's gonna be great, it's gonna be really fun, BKCO, no, it's Envoy
Envoy.
Mortgage is gonna be our sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And
We couldn't get the title because there's laws and rules and that's stupid stuff about,
that's okay,
Us funding.
it doesn't matter.
yeah.
If you guys have anybody that you think needs to be there, please let us know, invite them, we wanna pack the house. Last time we had 80 plus people, like 85 people.
There should be a lot more than that. 'Cause
And
it's
we
not
were
just
kind of
investment.
crammed in the downstairs, and my kind of vision is to expand to the upstairs and do 2 levels and just really pack the house. So there's a lot of space to bring more people in. Yeah? Yeah, maybe next time Philip will play the
Is this
piano.
are these
This is my
names?
rough draft.
This is Daniel's rough draft. Thomas Howell, Jesse Lee, Anton, Scott Estes, me with Flynn family. I can't read your handwriting. Brianna Albro, Kate Johansson, Courtney, Thatch, Greg, maybe.
Those are
Is that
question
you?
marks we're gonna
Vance?
get.
Yes.
Vance is gonna be there.
Vance is gonna be talking some money. It's gonna be great.
Richard Hager and David Gardner. But yeah, there's.
$25, you guys.
And we're gonna have lunch,
Okay.
better than a sandwich.
Put the code invest in, get your $25 ticket, you get a second ticket for free, and then bring a friend, right? Bring a buddy. It's gonna be awesome, it's broker diagnostic, so reach outside and let's show everybody what an investor nest we make here at Mary's Home. This is a little bit out of order, but that's okay. Here's your Red Day graphics. You can grab this graphic through Canva and put your name on it. It makes these nice little flyers that you can hand out to your clients and go door knock and collect food for our food drive. It makes Kim and I cringe when the guy from the food bank comes to pick up our food drive bucket and it's empty.
Bring food.
Please bring food. I hate that feeling.
Even if you have expired food in your pantry, you can bring expired food. They take expired food too, so.
As long as it's
Clean out your
non-perishable.
pantries.
Non-perishable food with expired
And
things.
not opened dog treats, because we got those last year.
It's okay, it was good for all the dogs.
I don't know what this is.
Mm.
That was weird. Oh, I'm clicking the link. Just wanted to
That's where the link takes
Just
you.
wanted to show you guys what it looked like.
When you click the link and go to Canva, just make a copy of it.
There's more details.
Red Day swag, if you don't have Red Day swag, if you guys have extra Red Day swag that you don't wear, that's just sitting in a drawer collecting dust or whatever, bring it in and we'll share the wealth. I might have a couple things.
We could probably close the whole room.
This side. Okay, these are out of order, but can you just escape out and go to Kim's?
What the hell? What's that?
And just calm down.
Competition?
Okay, Kim, I'm gonna let you take over and then I'll finish it off.
Sure.
Kim,
Hi guys, do we actually
Mortgage
have the
minute.
slides?
Hmm?
Do we have it? There we go.
So, Envoy Mortgage, of course, wants to be your lending partner. We have Vance returning, so most of you know Vance. He's now returning as MLO with Envoy Mortgage, so you'll see him and you'll see me as well wandering around. So your Mortgage Spotlight now has this new chart that talks about rates and what's happening in the market. So as we've been talking about, it's the inflation categories that we're trying to control and that we see what's happening. This week is a big week for us. The Federal Reserve is currently meeting. They'll make their announcements and their thoughts known to us on Wednesday. Now, they are starting to say that they originally projected, 6 cuts, then 3 cuts. Conversation now is that they might be looking at 1 cut in the federal rate during this year. So what does that mean? We can click on to the next one, Kim, thank you. Is that we're likely to see rates not go down significantly, okay? So last week, we hit a 7.5% high, which is the highest we've been since November. And we're starting to see that same trend of going sideways, right? So we're moving back and forth in that trough. So the thoughts of us being in the 6s for spring has pretty much dissipated, and we need to start getting a hold of the fact that that cost of waiting is even going to be more significant because we don't see the rates dropping. And then, thank you, last week we sent out in the Mortgage Spotlight, did anybody see the graphic we sent out last week? Anybody remember seeing it? The graphic last week was that if we see rates drop 1%, industry experts are now saying that they expect housing prices to go up 20%. So we've been using our average, equity and appreciation. We've been using the 6% or the 6 or 4%, depending on your market, for that cost of waiting analysis. Now they're saying that there's a potential of prices going up 20%. Why would that happen? Because we have so many buyers in the market with nothing to buy. And so as soon as the rates drop and we have more affordability, remember one of those other statistics was we have over 50% waiting for the rates to drop so they can buy, right? That $500,000 house. So if that happens, then that supply chain, of course, flips. Your sellers, tight inventory, can ask for more. And so they're now saying that it could be as significant as 20%. So when we go back and we're talking with our buyers that are waiting, right? They're waiting for that rate to drop. They've got that hesitation. We can even have a stronger conversation with them about how that's probably not going to happen. And buying now and getting started is the only way to start building that equity now, right? And then we can look at what will happen in the future if rates drop for refinancing. The other thing to keep in mind is that if they do finance with us, we're going to have what we call our boomerang product. So if they do their original finance with us and they go to refinance that loan, there'll be no lender fees. So we'll waive the lender fees on a refinance if we originally did the loan with them. So that can also help them. Well, what will be the cost if I have to refinance? Well, it would be the title cost, which would be minimal if we're not taking cash out, right? And then would be no lender fees. So keep that in mind as another way to ease the fear. Because a lot of it it's fear, right? The fear of the unknown. And our education is the opportunity to help dissipate that fear. What can they expect? What might happen? Yeah. And so those are the rates we see. That's applications, so they'll get there. Did they have a question that they wanted to
No,
ask?
she was defending herself on the sandwiches from
Okay.
the winning series.
And then the other graphic that we shared this week was when we asked realtors what they thought was happening, that they're saying that right now they see these large percentages in the green of buyers that they have waiting to buy, right? Opposed to buyers roughly equal to sellers, and then sellers outnumber the buyers. So you can see the market, we see everything green. If we look at the Pacific Northwest, which is the Northwest, they say that the realtors here say they have 72% of their people they're talking to are waiting, the buyers. So their inventory and their funnel is all filled full of buyers waiting for inventory or waiting for that something to change so they can move into that affordability. So the other thing to keep in mind is how can we create affordability for them? A down payment assistance program would create potential for that barrier of the entry cost, but it doesn't do anything to affect their debt to income ratio. So we need to have conversations with your lenders that are, what could we do to do that? Is it adding somebody else to the loan? Is it changing their debt? what will be their path to forward? And so Vance and I are definitely here to have those conversations with your buyers and potential buyers. So let's get them into the funnel and get them into that education process. Even if they don't wanna get pre-approved, we will talk to them about a pre-approval, because that's the best way for us to see the whole picture. But the only way we can help them create a plan for success and home ownership is if we see some of those details in their finances. So don't let them just keep sitting and reading the internet, let's give them a customized plan and see them moving forward with both of us together. So we're happy to do that. And then, of course, right now, we have another level up opportunity for you guys. So tomorrow, there is a webinar with Brandon Bouchard and Chris Suarez, one of the founders of Place, to talk about uncertainty, and it's just kind of a little bit of a motivational thing on how we move forward. So you guys are welcome to use this and click, it's no cost, which is another way to help you guys level up and for us to bring value to you as agents. And that should also have been in your mortgage spotlight.
We can put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, and then key statistics, if anybody wants to know what applications are doing, what do you guys think? Applications are going down, we are starting to see some rise in inventory. These are national numbers, so what's inventory happening for you guys right now? Are you guys seeing more inventory come on the market? Nothing yet, okay, yeah, everybody still sees 72% buyers and no inventory to move forward. And then we saw some differences in ILA, but when you guys look at your own statistics, and I know you guys go to the MLS and do that, but we are starting to see price reductions in some areas. Are you guys seeing negotiating power, or is your inventory still so tight that that's not happening? Is there any?
I think it depends on the price point.
I've seen a couple price reductions, but
Yeah.
only high price points
Yeah.
where people like way overshot the moon.
Yeah.
The 870, 900, and what, $1 million home?
One, yeah, over
Yeah.
one.
I'm getting a lot more closing cost coverage credits
You are?
from sellers
Okay,
than I
that's
was before, for sure.
Yeah, so we're seeing that in Bellingham, what we've seen the last few days is or the last couple of weeks, I've had one buyer that's looked at 6 properties and they've been outbid. So we're seeing $40,000 and $50,000 above asking. Again, that starting point. They're starting it because it's an entry level home, they're starting it at $500,000 and they're getting $550,000. Or they're starting at $687,000 and they're getting, $700 and something. So it's been interesting. The only way we have been able to negotiate seller credits was to bump the purchase price.
Yeah.
So other markets, I've seen the seller credits being available. We have one down in the east side Kirkland area where they're being able to do the 2-1 temporary buy down where the seller's paying for it. So
I think it's telling the story of the market through connecting to a lender, but also telling the story of what we see, right, with our buyers and helping them understand, because I think there's a lot, like, I turn conversations pretty easily when the buyers come to you and they have a fixed idea about what they think is going on, right? Because they hear this stuff in the news and they see this happen to so many other people, or they were connected with a bad agent maybe and they just didn't, have a good, then they just gave up on home buying, right? Because they just couldn't figure it out. But I think it's just really easy to turn that conversation by sharing stories about it and helping them understand that if they connect with the lender, right, that you're gonna help them solve the problem.
Right.
Figure out what the problem is. The problem is that they don't know what they don't know. They think that the interest rates are a fixed number and that's what it is, but there's so many ways to solve that problem by connecting with a lender that it's customizable for them.
And I think that's true when we use the words like customizable, specific to you, let me get your specific plan, right? Those things are all important to people because you're giving that extra, right? I'm doing it just for you. The other thing with that goes back to the values, right? Our communication through curiosity.
Sure.
So if we're sitting down and we're not having that conversation and asking where they're at, what their perceptions are, what they know about the market, we're never gonna be able to open the conversation to deflect or change their perception of what Uncle Ed tells them, what's happening, right?
Add some real quickly, Kim. It's so important right now to frame the conversations, particularly with first-time buyers, away from payment to net worth and wealth. Because to your point, if it goes up 20%, and right now it's 500, what is that gonna be next year, 600? All right, your payment's going up, okay, let's say Julie, your payment's going up $1,000 a month. All right, that's okay, $12,000 versus 100. Do the old Ben Franklin and do the numbers, the tax write-offs you get, right, all those things. So I think it's, like Kim's saying, have that conversation, because your average buyer isn't thinking that, they're just looking at it going, Julie, I can't afford $700 more, I can barely afford my rent right now. We've got to sit down and really strongly advocate for home ownership and make a case for it. We do it with numbers and figures,
Yeah,
and at the heart too.
Right, and I love that. Always make sure it's with the right thing, that integrity to help them out. It's not about me making a sale or making a loan, it's about putting them in a better financial situation. And as long as they understand that and they hear that through our actions as well as our communication, you're building that partnership. And what I always like to say is it's a partnership, right? We're putting you together your net worth growing team, we're putting together your real estate team. You're gonna have your agent, you're gonna have your lender, and then we're gonna add processors and title company there to create a team for your success. And that's all the communication that we need, right, is to make sure we're talking about all those different things, not focusing on payment and an interest rate and a credit score, because all these variables go into the journey. And so now we can have those conversations. I think it's a key time to explore beyond what's your affordability as far as your payment, and then how we get you to a place you wanna be. Because right now, they don't have that opportunity. And if we see prices continuing to go up, if their job income isn't gonna change or their debt doesn't go down, how is that gonna help them?
Okay, one more thing, and this is, I'm glad to hear what you're saying, Julie, you're seeing sellers paying for these closing costs. And you might be taking away, so I don't mean to, you might be a couple slides up. 2-1 buy down, you gotta have a lot of points to pay that typically, you gotta have a very motivated seller or bump that price. But a product I absolutely love right now is a 1-0 temporary buy down, because I really believe, to what you're saying, the low 6s are gonna be the new 3s. And so right now, okay, let's say, Julie, it's 7 1/4 is too high, well, how about if we get you 6 1/4 for 1 year? And that's gonna cost you typically to buy it down 1 point for a year, which I think mostly, that's all we're gonna need. It costs you basically, it's less than a point, it's like 0.78. So if it's a $500,000 loan, it's like $3,900 to buy it down, right? And that gives you a year reprieve and that lower payment.
Yeah.
And that might be all the time they need, because a year from now, we don't have a crystal ball, Kim's got a crystal ball.
I do,
I
but
don't.
it's
She
crappy
does.
now and then.
But I think a year from now, we're gonna see low 6s where you can lock in for the remaining term. So just right now, it's getting creative.
So it's
What did you do?
It's a danger zone to sit
Smell
there.
my fucking coffee everywhere.
What I was saying
Because I
was
was
so
dropping my
profound.
He was smelling, but I didn't even notice he was that sliced with everything. So,
One conversation that I was having, and it's changed, because it was talking with renters who wanna wait on the fence, whatever, right? And so the whole interest rate, you're paying 100% interest if you're a renter versus 7%, 6%, whatever that looks like. Last week I had a conversation with 2 different buyers, potentially, about well, I don't wanna be house poor. Well, do you wanna be house poor because rent sucks? And do you wanna be house poor paying somebody else's mortgage, or do you wanna be house poor paying your own mortgage, building your wealth?
And a lot of that comes down to doing, let's look at the numbers and do the rent versus own. I had a couple I'm working with right now, they're paying $34 a month in rent. Now I'm able to show them how essentially a $4,200 mortgage payment is basically the same, because when we take into account the interest write-off, writing off the real estate taxes, now again, I'm putting my asterisks here, I am not a tax accountant, please consult them, consult your HR department, but I could show, you could go to your HR department, okay, increase your withholding, this is assuming you're a salaried person, and get more take-home pay, because right now, owning this home over the next 12 months is worth about 10 grand that you will be paying Uncle Sam. So let's break that down and help you make that mortgage payment for the next year. Or let's cut out the big coffees for a while, because we're all probably spending $100 a month on that, right? So let's get our priorities in line. But I think that's that's education. It's getting past the myths, and it's having a meaningful conversation with them and putting facts down on paper.
I don't think it's my job to know all this stuff. I love what Vance is saying. It's my job to send them to Vance.
that is correct.
And my first job is to be the positive person in their life. That's my first job. As I'm listening to people right now, scared to tell about interest rates, scared about what the market's gonna do, scared to do anything, I always tell them about my father. My father would drive by places and say, I could have bought that. Wait, I could have bought that. And I was about 19 when I thought, Dad, you could have done anything. You could have done anything. And I like to tell people, if you wait, you're gonna be like my dad was. Don't do that. I wanna send you right now to a mortgage banker and start the process. That's my job. My job isn't to know all the things you're telling me right now. My job is to get him into Vance's office and start the process.
That's right.
And my job is to be the positive guy in their life, because all they're hearing from friends and neighbors and everybody else is, oh, this market, oh, this interest rate, and all this stuff. And if I can be the sunshine in their life and tell them, hey, Mike Appleby just told us that this county now is gonna grow to the extent of Stanwood, Granite Falls, Arlington, Marysville, Lake Stevens, and Everett. In the next 20 years, we're gonna have that many more people come in. You think property isn't gonna go and double again and double again? It's gonna happen. And you're either gonna be in the market or not in the market. Let me send you to a mortgage banker. I think that's my job.
Yeah, and
Lynn's
we've done
kids will
that.
be telling the story, remember when I could have bought a house in Marysville for $2 million, right?
These kids are all gonna be
Right.
homeowners
Yeah,
later.
right. But no, you're right, that is such a great point, right? And the thing is, y'all don't have to, your team needs to be able to do it.
Right.
Because otherwise, you don't need to be, we don't need to be talking about escalation clauses in the contract. You gotta have your team together, and that's.
But if I get into technical things about their financing and their mortgage and their ability, I'm wasting my time.
Well,
Yeah.
don't be a
That's
know-it-all.
our partner, yeah.
I think, but it's also important, like, for us to be investors. It's also important for us to be purchasing not only our single-family residence, but to be growing our portfolio so that we can teach our
Very good.
clients, you know, like, wealth, right? And like, you know, people are like, how are you doing that? I don't know, I just figured it out, right? Like, just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, like, go buy something,
You know,
right?
the best thing that Bruce Hardy said to us was, make hay right now and put it in the barn.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna see some fantastic opportunity in a few months.
Well, Anton says, like, I mean, how many millions of houses are we, like, there's some crazy number of,
4.5 million, that shortage.
yes.
Yes, like, it's over $4 million that we have a shortage.
So like, they can't build fast enough for us, and so like, anything that's going into the permitting process now, you're not gonna get for 2 more years, and so
What
like,
are they building right now?
there's
What are they building right now in Squinty Point?
a freaking apartments.
Rentals,
Right.
rentals.
Because there's more money for the investor.
Exactly,
Well, it's
so,
not that, it's a mindset. It's a
and it's
mindset.
teaching people that you're not stuck in your house forever. You're taking yourself out of being a renter into being a homeowner, but you're not stuck there forever. You're there for now, and then you move on to the next one and the next one. You're not buying your forever house today,
Right.
especially in Snohomish County in Western Washington.
Right.
On the renter discussion as well, when you're talking about payments, I think it correlates with the network discussion. When you have, your rent never gets locked in, never ever, it'll always go up. So even if you just lock with most people's #1 payment, you lock that in for the rest of your life, you're doing better.
Yeah.
Well, and you're building equity, so rent always increases, right? And the more that mortgage payments get increased, you know, and the rates are up and mortgage rates are up, that's gonna push rents up. So we'll probably see rents increase over the next couple of years, and that's why they're doing all these rentals, right? People's mindsets are fixed on the now, right? This is what it costs me now, instead of this is what I'm building for my future. And that's our job as their economist, you know, consultation. We're helping that consult them on these choices that they're making in their lives. And it's our job to help them move forward in a positive way for themselves.
I think a big part of it is, you gotta think about these first, it's scary as hell to think about sitting there, is it gonna cost me anything? Is it gonna affect my credit score? Do I need 20% down? It's just sitting down and demystifying it and saying, like Kim was saying, let's just put together a plan. I get it, maybe it's not next month or 3 months, maybe it's a year, but let's sit down and put a plan together. Because right now, municipalities and states have so much money they want to give you to be able to help you buy a house. Down payment assistance programs are out there. First responders, teachers, you name it, there's something out there. If you make under 180K, we got some money for you. So it's just getting past the fear. Let's sit down, let's talk. It doesn't cost you anything. Let's sit down over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, whatever. And put together a plan, whether you decide to do it now or not. But once you can get that time with them, you get them excited, and that's up to us, is to strongly advocate and make a case for
For
homeownership,
their positivity.
period. Yes.
For hope, I mean, that's really what we wanna do, is we wanna change from fear to hope.
I think about that couple paying 40 grand a year right now in rent. They're making, the first 60,000 in income they make is going towards their rent.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's out there, we just have to find the right people. So along those lines, we wanna keep you guys in mind that when in the mortgage spotlight, there's two things. There's also information about investors and what's happening with rents. So if you are going to be an investor, what the market looks like for single family homes as an investor. The other thing is that sometimes there's the fear of being that one-on-one, right? Creating that, oh, I have to call Kelly, I have to talk to him personally. Let us do a class for you. I know you guys have done them before here, but both Vance and I can come in and do that first-time home buyers class, the demystification of mortgage, whatever we want to title it, and we can come down and do those for you and your clients, and hopefully bring in some new opportunities for you guys. So
Great.
let us come and do that for you.
That's great. I like that a lot. We haven't seen a lot of those happening.
Yeah, and we can do them back now in person, we can do them via Zoom, you know, depending what the market is. You have some people that will do it in the brewery, right? Where you'll just gather and do brewery. What we find is that if we're doing it somewhere like the brewery, it is less, maybe a less barrier, people are willing to come, but you don't get as much information shared. It really becomes a social environment, and that's not right for everybody. If they're coming to learn and grow, they might want that smaller, more formalized group, because we're talking about their finances.
Yeah.
And so they might have a little different idea of how the educator presents themselves. Okay?
I like that. We get creative around it. Well, you know, our mission at BKCO is delivering the dream of home ownership everywhere, right?
Mhm.
And so really, if we do these things and help people and help them get past their limiting beliefs on what they can do in their lives, right? I think it helps, it grows.
Yeah.
Which, if you're all wrapped up, I'm gonna segue into the brain. This is the brain.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's a brain. I just want to talk a little bit about mindset today, and because I think we get too lost in the weeds on things, and everything right now is, you know, what's working, what's the new thing, what's everybody doing, looking on social media, comparing ourselves to others, doing all this stuff, right? We kind of get lost in the weeds on what our business looks like and what our objectives is, what we're doing. And then this thing came up, 75 Hard Real Estate Edition. They were talking about this on our leadership call this week on Monday. And I joined the Facebook group on it because I wanted to see what it was all about. I'm the first one to jump on a bandwagon, not necessarily 75 Hard. Has anybody done 75 Hard? Okay, Lynn.
Yes.
Julie, right?
Yeah.
Well, has anybody else done some type of a health challenge, 30 days, whole 30, like that kind of stuff, like cut this out of my diet 10 days. I found one I really liked. It was called the 10-day shred because it only was 10 days. I was like, oh, I can do anything for 10 days. I can be a vegan for the first 3 hours of the day. Not eat anything. But anyway, but 75 Hard is hard because it's 75 days. And the point of doing stuff like that is to create a habit in our brains, back to the brain, right? Our brain, we decide to do something new and shiny and fun, like the fun new thing, right? The bells and whistles, something somebody else is doing on Facebook or Instagram or podcasts or whatever. Our brain says, oh, I want to do this new thing. And then instantaneously go back to the brain because our brain wants to stop us from doing it because that's different.
That's uncomfortable.
It is, it's uncomfortable, it's different. So creating a habit, creating a basic habit and making it a natural thing is something that Gary Keller teaches in the MREA, right? He teaches the models that we have to fall back on. Because when the going gets tough and things get changed and there's all these shiny new bells and whistles, we don't rise to the occasion, we fall to the level of our training, right? We fall to that level. And so Gary's like, that's why he created the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. He created the models to follow so that we don't have to think about it. We program them in so well that we just do them naturally. It's like if you ask Anton what he does every single day as an agent, Anton says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is what Anton does every day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's 5 handwritten notes, right? Or no, 5 added to the database. And 4 handwritten notes. And 30 follow-ups. And 20 two-way conversations. And 1 appointment. And this is Anton's fallback. He does this every single day, right? Because it's natural. That's the model he created for himself. And so when I saw the 75 Hard Real Estate Edition, I was like, oh, that's easy. It's not gonna be easy, it's hard, right? Because our brain doesn't want to do it. Our brain says, right? It doesn't want to create new habits and patterns. It wants to delete it and keep us comfortable and safe, right? Safe in what we're doing. But we want to create a new safety zone around a model so that we don't have to think about it, it's natural. So I printed off some of them. 75 Hard Real Estate Edition, 75 Hard Database Edition, 75 Hard Dual Career Edition, 75 Hard New Agent Edition, right? And the reason there are so many different ones is because you gotta customize it for yourself. You have to, Anton customized this one for himself. If Anton does this every day, he knows what shows up in his business. If I do this every day, it's gonna be a little bit of a different show up in my business, right? Because I do things a little bit different. So my numbers are a little bit different. Maybe I don't convert the same way. But if you take this 75 Hard Real Estate Edition, 10 voice-to-voice or face-to-face conversations per day, 10 texts per day, 50 door knocks per week, 1 seller seminar every 2 weeks. This is, you gotta create your own. 3 CMAs sent per day. Find 3 people you can send a CMA to. 2 people added to your database a day, 1 agent referral contact per day, 1 personalized card spent every day, real estate conversation practice with a partner daily, track contacts, conversations, appointments, on and on. So I just wanted to share these with you guys, and I want to give you kind of a little bit of a challenge, and that is to come up with your 75 hard, right? Come up with that for yourself, because if you drive action into your business on a regular daily basis, you are going to have results at the end. Anton says when he does this every single day, if you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, he says this equals a $500,000 business. Wow. That might not be a $500,000 business in my world, maybe it's a $250,000 business, but would you agree with me that if I add 5 people to my database, reach out, handwritten notes, do all these follow-ups, have 22-way conversations even if they hang up on me, business is gonna show up. It's gonna show up out of here, because this is a funnel. So this is a funnel. And even when we're busy and we lead these busy lives and we're driving back and forth across the mountains or driving back and forth to Bellingham or taking the ferry out and giving, our best to our clients, getting wrapped up in family and people are moving to Maui, stuff like that, as long as I can plug in and follow a consistency every single day, I know that people will show up in our market center, in our business, our profit will show up, right? And that's what drives us all anyway. Helping people, being profitable, taking more market share, being I have to read it. It's dominate the markets, make millionaires and give millions, right? In the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary lists the 9 ways millionaire real estate agent thinks, right? Does anybody remember any of them? Nope. See? Okay, I wanna make billionaires, so this is what you have to do. Number 1 is think powered by a big why. Gotta know why you're doing it. Why am I doing this? Why do I fall back to my routines every day? What is the outcome, right? Is it profitability? Right? Is it helping people? What motivates us and why? Gotta powered by a big why. And then think big goals and models. Right? And then think, possibilities. What can happen? What's next? Right? And this one, number 4, think action. That's this. This is action, right? Possibilities is crafting it and figuring out what you're gonna do every single day. Start with the things you already do, right? We already do a lot of stuff. There's some monster businesses in this room, right? If you follow the person right ahead of you, that's your possibility. Who is doing what I want to be doing? And then just model that and create a model around what they do every single day and try to keep up. You know, hook your tail, hook onto them and, you know, what is that called? Tie a rope onto them, right?
To their success, yes.
Not around their neck. Think without fear. Because if you think about the possibility, tie a rope onto them, take action, the first thing your brain's gonna wanna do is, what happens when you first start the 75 hard or the 30 days, right? You wanna quit. This is hard. I hate it. I don't feel good. Everything's out of sorts. My car got a flat tire. I'm out of gas. I don't have any money for that. You know, like all that stuff comes up in your brain to make you stop. And you have to think without fear and fall back on the action and just keep going, right? Then number 6, think progress. Okay, this one is really important. This means look at the things that you're doing well, even if it's just one thing, okay? Because out of all of these things, maybe you screwed this up and screwed this up and screwed this up and oh God, I screwed up my appointment and 19 conversations sucked, but 1 was great. And that's what you have to focus on. Think progress. You have to focus on the one positive spark, even when it's a shitstorm of negativity. Because this is hard. This isn't easy. It's simple, but it's hard. Then think competitively. Now that you're in action, now that you've controlled your fear, now that you're focused on the things that you're positive that you're doing, you can now look outside and look at the new things. Because now you're strong enough to do that without your brain turning off. And then you have to think standards. Well, that's easy for us. Because we live by them. There's a deal there. We already have them, we live by them. Y4C2Ts, our values, our mission, like that's ingrained in us. We don't have to worry about this too much. And then the last one is think service. Think service, right? Also ingrained in us. Like these are our natural things I think that we do at KW. It's this part that I think we've fallen away from. We forgot that it's actually the one thing we have control of is our state of mind. Our state means everything. And this is our state. That's where that comes in. This is our state of mind.
What I think is important too though, is that even though like our standards and our service is what comes natural to us, I think that over the last couple of months, we've seen like those are getting attacked.
Yeah.
Because it's not what comes natural to everyone, and so then people like reach out and try to attack your standards and your level of service, and so sometimes it makes it more challenging for us to focus on those things. So I think that that's big too, to bring up like the reminder of all the things to think about and just like always remembering to come back to our standards and our level of service. And you know, sometimes focusing on each one, even if it's out of order, is important too.
If we're not in action, we're not doing anything. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. It's progress, not perfection. And who doesn't like to be competitive? Like, if you don't, why would you be in real estate if you are not competitive? Standards comes with it and service comes with it. If I'm not helping someone, then what am I doing? You know, I don't do this for profit. I know that that sounds crazy, but I do this to help people, and by helping people brings me profit. And find your purpose.
You're a
So bring
promoter.
it back to your big why.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a promoter, right? This is again, remember, this is how a millionaire real estate agent thinks, right? This isn't just how your average person thinks.
And when you use Anton for an example, everybody wants to be like Anton, right? Anton is brilliant, he never stops, he's got ADD like no other. He carries around a freaking to-do list, the same to-do list for 19 years.
And he makes time to help other people.
And he gets, he has to create some boundaries, but like,
You just said it. He's had the same to-do list for 19
he
years.
has
Who's
that
done the
piece
same
of
exact
paper.
thing over and over every single day for more than a year, more than 2 years, more than 5 years? That's mastery, right?
Right, it is.
We try to hunt and seek out mastery all the time, and the way we have to do it is it starts right here. That's why the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the first 100 pages is mindset. Gary said, you gotta get your mind right. You have to get your mind right. If you don't get your mind right, you have no control over this. Might as well just trash this whole list, right? Gotta get your mind right. Gotta understand why you're doing it. Most important thing, you put that number 1, right?
And Anton's the first one to admit that it's boring because you're doing the same thing over and over again. But if you look at Anton, the last word you would ever think of to describe him is boring.
But you know what Anton does? He started out just slinging houses. Is that what he does now? No, he has a team that slings houses. Now he's creating developments and investments and all of these things, right? So he's pivoted and grown throughout the years. So like, it's not just about selling houses. I don't want to just sell houses. It's boring. It is boring. Here's your keys.
But don't be afraid of the boring, like honestly, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or your 75 hard or whatever shouldn't take you the entire day. You should be able to knock that out in a certain part of the day. And then if it's really boring, then throw in some unicorns on the side. Go chase zebras on I-90.
Yeah, who's not?
The economy yet?
Nope, the stallion's still out.
Yeah,
Really?
still one out there.
I think we should just let one of the mayors out too, and then we can just have wild zebras in
Right.
Washington.
It would
I
be
think it's great.
It would be a thing, right?
I think those of us who have done this for a long time and we didn't know what our purpose was or our why, we just did it and we made lots of money and then felt numb
Empty.
through it. Yes.
Yeah, you have to have a why. I just discovered I have to revisit mine. My why has shifted and changed. Right? It's really, it's incredible. And I've been through a lot of growth in the last, year and a half. And I thank everybody for all of that growth because it made me reset, rethink, understand this, break it apart, and get down to the bottom of these models. They're so important to just pound in so that we can fall back on them and be doing something. I want somebody to say about me, oh, Molly did that because she's been doing that for 15 years, right? Oh, Molly's been talking about MREA like a crazy person for the last year, right? And I want that to continue and continue and continue so that I model my life after that next person ahead of me that I want to be like. right? Find that person, figure out who they are, and then take action on it, create a plan. I think this is the most important thing, that we're creating millionaires in these rooms, right? These are our rooms, that's what we're doing, we're conditioning ourselves to make a lot of money. So as Mo Anderson says, we can give a lot away. Yeah, and not making the money is doing disservice to your community because you don't have the money to give them, right? So anyway, grab a 75 hard real estate edition, whatever, so that you can model it after that. If you want the Facebook group or anything like that to dig in harder on 75, I can give that to you.
This is really good. Where did you get this?
Yeah, there's a Facebook group. You want me to add you to it?
Yeah, this is
Ooh,
really
add me,
cool.
I wanna see it.
Julie should definitely be in there.
Yeah. Anybody that actually did the 75.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, it was.
All these are on the Facebook group too.
This.
They're all different.
I love it. Kind of where you're at.
This is real estate, this is new agent, this is database, that's dual career.
Are you new to the
Thank you, boys.
Yeah, you guys.
Danny, okay.
Thanks everyone on Zoom.
Nice to meet you. Bye, everybody on Zoom that I completely forgot was there when I turned my back to them, sorry.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Molly and Kim.
Thanks,
See
guys.
you later.
All right.